Welcome. I'm your host, Maxine Millimeter, and this is XYZ, where everything that's happening is happening here. We sat with amazing leaders throughout the city that's breaking the cycle and claiming a new light on a brighter tomorrow. We have city trustees, mental health specialists, and much more. It's not just real chat, it's real people and impactors showing you how even you can do it too. It hasn't been easy, but it's all here for you to be informed. So buckle your seatbelts and remember, no shade. We discuss it all here under the sun.
Before we air today, we would like to thank our higher power for allowing this opportunity to connect with each other to inform our communities of various information and resources.
He's placed lungs into our bodies to live and press forward each day, as well as blessed us with our apprehensive resources to perceive each message. Thank you, Lord. We love you. We honor you. In Jesus' name, amen.
What started as a cycle of incarceration has transformed into a journey of purpose, vision, and self-belief. This guest is proof that you can rewrite your story. Once caught in a system that tried to define him, he chose a new path to show that all odds are indeed defeatable. Now, the founder of a thriving brand, Poor Little Rich Kids, he's went from pushing pens to EINs, transforming his pain into purpose and his hustle into a legitimate empire. Watch and sit with us as we discuss his remarkable transition. We introduce to you today, Mr. Cody Moe.
Yes,
how are you today?
I'm good. How you doing?
Yes, thank you so much for coming out today. I'm great.
That's what's up.
Yes, now, can you tell us about PLRK?
So, Poor Little Rich Kids, it started off as a clothing brand. It was just an idea that my uncle had, and then he brought me on board. We started making designs for it, and obviously the name is Poor Little Rich Kids. So we came with the mascot to be Richie Rich. You kind of young. Do you remember Richie Rich?
Come on, man.
So that was our mascot. It was just an idea at first. So Poor Little Rich Kid. Basically, the meaning behind it is no matter how rich you become, to never forget the poor little scenarios that you was in through your life. Yeah.
That's very humbling. I like that.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
So what was the turning point that made you want to change your life?
So that's kind of crazy because you keep saying this big transition and change and stuff like that. Like I was just, I don't know.
Oh no, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying like you're just rough, but
no, yeah. So no, I was just joking. So I get the question, but I wasn't just the roughest of the roughest. I think that I kind of came from a humbling start or whatever, and then chose to do kind of the wrong things, and then those wrong things led me to jail, in which that's where I kind of realized that, like I said, I knew early on that I was better than what I was doing, but jail kind of showed me that I don't want to go back there, and that the teacher was right, and that the end all be all behind that is dead or in jail. So yeah.
Okay. Now, how did your past experiences, like, do you feel shaped you to the person that you are today?
I think that just going through and getting through and being patient, and one of the main things that I'll say is that my past situations taught me to trust myself, because no matter what you go through, whether you win or you lose, you still learn, and then you kind of go from there, and then you're able to trust yourself enough to take bigger risks moving forward.
Okay. Now, what were some of like the biggest challenges you feel like you faced during, this whole transition of building, Poor Little Rich Kids and everything?
I don't know, Millimeter. I'm kind of big on not letting stuff bother you or not letting it be a challenge. I mean, of course, this stuff happens or whatever, but if I just had to say a big challenge for me would be opening that store was pretty rough. It really was, yeah. Like just having to go through the whole, basically turning my business from a hobby to a business. Yeah. So.
Okay. And how did you go through with that? Like, walk us through that a little bit.
Sleeping in that damn store. Yeah, so because like when I first bought the store, it was a currency exchange. So I was in there day and night, basically changing it into what you saw, what we did the first interview as a store. So yeah,
yes,
it was crazy, but it was worth it at the end. So yeah.
Okay, now what role did forgiveness, either from yourself or others, play in your journey?
Oh wow, that's a good one. Forgiveness. Just on the path of success, you're gonna come across negative energy, and I think that just realizing that forgiveness is for me and not them. kind of just led me to be able to say, hey, everybody can't go with you. God's will is what's gonna make it work, and the people that fell astray were meant to fall astray.
Was there somebody who you feel like believed in you when you didn't believe in yourself, or what did you do to just kind of keep pushing forward in those times? It was just like, not too sure.
I've always been a big believer in myself, so I can't say that I had too many times. I mean, of course, you have times where you kind of doubt yourself, or you don't know if your idea is gonna work. I come from a very loving family, so I know I heard an analogy from Jay-Z about how people can kind of get too high on their air balloon, and then you need people to come pull their feet down and place them back on the ground and plant them. So I got a lot of people in my circle that's like that. Or even vice versa, if I go too far down, I got a lot of people that'll pull me back up and keep me on track.
Okay, now are these the people who inspired you to, start your clothing brand?
Yes and no. So reverting back to how that Poor Little Rich Kids actually started, my uncle that I started it with, he actually passed away. So yeah, and that was kind of my business partner. So that would be the inspiration on actually turning it into a business rather than it just being something that me and him make clothes for ourselves, to where him passing away is kind of what gave me the inspiration to say, hey, this is something good that you got. The people was reacting good to it, so I just moved forward.
So you basically are moving forward, not just for yourself, but and to keep, something thriving in your uncle's name.
Of course.
Yeah. That's that's big, and my condolences to you. And that's real dope. Like, what values does your brand stand on, you feel like?
Values would be well, obviously it's a clothing brand, so getting fly. I always like just getting fly. There's no better feeling than you can be in a slump, but if you wake up, clean your crib, throw some clothes on, get fresh, you just feel good. So that's one of my biggest values. Another one would be, especially in store, is coming from the era of when you go in and just say, for instance, something on the rack is $110. Coming from the era of, well, just give me 100 even. Or just, you know what I'm saying, that era of being able to go in store, see something you like, undeniable, you want it. Yeah, you may not want to spend 120 for it, but me being the owner, I'm able to say, you know what, bro, you come in a lot, just give me 100 even and just make it work. So yeah.
Real businessman right here. Y'all hear that? Now, did you learn the business side of the fashion and the branding from your uncle, or was it?
No, I kind of learned it just going. My uncle was more of a behind the scenes with it. I was always in the forefront, selling the clothes out the trunk and going to meet up with people. I was always the one doing that. So yeah, I just learned the business as I went along. Like I said, it was a hobby at first, but then going from a hobby to a business, having to learn, like you said, EINs and profit margins and all that stuff. So yeah, I kind of learned as I went along. Sure.
All right. So was you a YouTube University type of person?
A little bit. I do that more so with the music though.
Hey,
for
look.
YouTube, but yeah, I'm telling you, with the business, it's kind of crazy because you even YouTube University, the people that's on there telling you will tell you that nothing that they're saying is fit to any business. Everything is
gotta find your niche and your strategy. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, were there any unique obstacles you faced as like a formerly incarcerated person, entering into the business of, this world? Was it hard?
I can't say that the background was a thing, but I can say that basically being in that realm of not understanding business or understanding credit or understanding stuff like that. So when I was ready to buy my brick and mortar location, I was sitting there with this big lump sum of cash, but they still didn't want to rent it out to me because they looked at my credit and said, "Nah, boy, you ain't." So stuff like that, those obstacles where basically it taught me to get everything that I need in order before I try to jump off the porch for something, because I don't like being told no. So
man, look, I hear you. Yeah. But you know what I've learned and stuff is that when God closes a door, he opens up a window. So just, you can hear 1,000 no's, but it's that one yes that's going to give you an opportunity. So always thrive, and never give up.
For sure.
What message do you want people to receive when wearing your clothing?
Like I said, no matter how rich you become, never forget the poor little situations, the humbling situations, the people that probably can't afford to wear the stuff that you got on. I mean, be fly, and I don't want to make it a message to where the clothes have this big meaning of, I'll never forget where you come from. So be fly for sure, but also just remember that being fly is a privilege. to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta get up and work hard to be able to go spend that money on stuff. So just never forget those humbling experiences while you are fly that got you where you at.
Yeah, I love that. Now, how does your brand give back or support others with similar backgrounds?
So like I say, I do a lot of, hey bro, you can just have this. I do a lot of, me and my son will just be riding and have some stuff in the back seat. We'll just stop and give it to some less fortunate people. We do socks charities. You see I got on my sock stuff now. So we do a bunch of socks charities. We do events for like schools where we go in and show other students how to make clothes or whatever. That was real big maybe right before COVID, but obviously the clothing brand whole heat press, heat transfer thing has just expanded since then. So before it was a big thing, we was in those schools heavy, just trying to do something to show obviously kids that you can transition from where you are to, and then obviously clothes is a good way to do that.
Yeah, that's really dope. You know, like that you're doing that. Have you ever thought about converting it to a not-for-profit or anything?
Well, so yeah, I actually have a non-for-profit, but it's for the football training, for the football camp.
Okay.
You know, I'm a football coach too. So,
all right.
So, yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It might be why I haven't been doing as many clothes drops, but so yeah, my son plays. I started coaching because this team he was playing for basically needed a coach, and so I just stepped up and I played football in high school. I started loving it. Now I can't leave it alone. So yeah, he going to a new team this year. He'll be on the Tinley Park Bulldogs. But yeah,
hey, congratulations!
I do.
Now, what advice would you give to someone currently incarcerated or, you know, recently released who wants to start over?
God, man. I know it sounds cliche and it sounds like, you know what I'm saying, that a one-word answer, but it's so powerful. Nothing that I have done or accomplished or none of my success, all of that is for God. God did all of that for me. If you're still incarcerated, pick up those books. Those books got good stuff in it. I mean, obviously you get bored of it and stuff like that, but pick it up, try it, God, and then keep going. Like I said, you got to give God something to bless. So if you're sitting on the couch just chilling, then God gonna give you a bigger couch.
There we go.
You know what I'm saying?
Faith without works is dead.
Yeah, for sure. So
yeah. Now, is there anything you would like to leave the audience with, like in order to understand second chances?
So it's a method when you're doing construction. What is it? Cut, measure twice, cut once. So yeah, and I think that in life you need to measure twice and cut once. You need to really, really think about what you're doing. It's a book called The Battlefield of the Mind, and a quote that stuck out from it for me was think about what you're thinking about. Because a lot of times people just have blank thoughts and just not even thinking about what's going through their mind. So yeah, think about what you're thinking about, and if you measure twice and cut once, you won't have so many mistakes.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now, where can they find you and your brand? Like, where's links and stuff for people who are interested to find out some of the things about PLRK, Cody, or even, you know, Coach Cody?
Yeah. So I have a few pages, but since we on here for clothes, Get Dressed _daily on Instagram and Get Dressed on Facebook. Maybe I could come back for another interview for all of my other.
Yes, come on, bring the whole team so we can show.
Well, one more thing too. I'm overly proud of you, and just shows the way you move and the way you stand consistent. You going through adversity, things happen, let them happen. Like you said, you lose your keys on your way out the door. It's not that God made you late for something. It's that God made you not get hit by that train that you was going. You know what I'm saying? So don't look at stuff that come your way that's negative as a bad thing. And yeah, I'm overly proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
XYZ,
I really
everything
appreciate
under
it.
that sign.
Yes, I appreciate that so much. And thank you for coming again. You know, we had missed you up on the first season, but we is not losing this footage. You will hear from the great Cody. So that's all we have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And you heard it here first, Under the Sun. Peace out.
Are you an entrepreneur? Have a business or organization you'd like to promote? Be heard and tell your story. XYZ is looking to showcase you on our show. From chefs to city councils, from music performers to organizations, we want to give all an opportunity to be heard. Email us today and let's network at xyzunderthesun@gmail.com. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Thank you, and peace and light.